Let's get one thing straight. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean she doesn't want you. Just because she's not texting you back doesn't mean she's not checking her phone every 5 minutes, hoping you'll reach out. Women crave differently. We feel deeply, but we guard even deeper, especially when we've been hurt. Especially when we're scared that wanting you too much will make us look weak. So we hide behind indifference, behind pride, behind that fake "I'm fine, but listen to me," and listen closely. A woman who craves you may never say it outright, but her actions, her subtle cues, her hesitations, they will speak volumes. The problem is, most men don't know how to read that language. They either chase too hard and push her away, or give up too soon and never realize she was already emotionally invested. So I'm here to teach you how to see beyond the silence, how to feel her presence even in her absence. If you've ever felt like a woman wanted more but kept pulling away, if you've ever questioned, does she even care? This is for you, not to feed your ego, but to awaken your emotional intelligence. Because the man who learns to read between the lines becomes the man she can't resist. You know, we're taught to look for confidence, for certainty, for bold moves and clear signs. But what if I told you the real signs, the deepest signs that a woman is craving you, are they often hidden in her discomfort? See, when a woman truly wants you but isn't ready to admit it to you or even to herself, her body betrays her before her words ever can. She becomes visibly uncomfortable around you, and most men, they read that discomfort as disinterest. They think, she's awkward, maybe she's not into me. But they're wrong. That nervous energy you see, that's not rejection, that's restraint. That's her trying not to want you so badly. Think about it. She's used to controlling her environment. She walks into a room, and she's calm, collected, unbothered. But then you show up, and suddenly, she's not herself. She fidgets. She avoids eye contact. She talks fast, or barely talks at all. Maybe she laughs a little too hard at something that wasn't even funny, or she says something that doesn't even make sense and then immediately corrects herself. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional electricity short-circuiting her logic. Now here's what most guys miss. Her discomfort is not a repellent. It's a reflection. She's feeling something big, and she doesn't know what to do with it. Maybe she's afraid of being hurt. Maybe she's been through too much, and letting someone in feels dangerous. Or maybe she's been told all her life to play it cool, or she'll scare a man off. So instead, she tucks her craving behind a wall of awkward silences, fake smiles, and carefully crafted distance. But you, as a man who's growing into emotional awareness, you've got to look deeper. You've got to learn how to see through the unease, and ask yourself, why does she seem so off when she's around me? Because chances are, it's not you she's trying to avoid. It's how you make her feel. You stir something in her. And when that something is powerful enough, it shakes her sense of control. That's why emotional discomfort is often the first sign of emotional desire. She's not rejecting you. She's reacting to you. It's a battle between her heart and her head. And she hasn't figured out yet which one to trust. But here's the catch. This is not an invitation to push harder or play therapist. No, this is a moment to be grounded, to be still, to let her know without saying a word that you are safe, that you are present, that she doesn't have to hide or shrink or mask her feelings to be accepted by you. Because when you make a woman feel emotionally safe, you give her permission to come closer, not because she has to, but because she wants to. So the next time she's fidgeting around you, instead of pulling away or overreacting, just stay steady, stay soft, stay observant, because sometimes the strongest craving is the one wrapped in silence, buried in awkwardness, and waiting for the right man to understand what it means. Have you ever noticed how someone starts to pick up your habits without even realizing it? The way you say certain words, your gestures, your tone, even the rhythm of how you speak, it starts to show up in them too. When a woman is emotionally drawn to you but hasn't admitted it yet, one of the most telling signs is this mirroring behavior. And no, it's not something she's doing on purpose. It's something her heart is doing quietly, secretly, without permission. See, when a woman craves you but doesn't feel safe enough to say it, her subconscious starts to bridge the gap. It finds comfort in familiarity. And what's more familiar than becoming more like the person she's emotionally attuned to? You. So when you notice her using phrases you say all the time, or responding to situations the way you do, or suddenly being into that random podcast or song you once mentioned, it's not a coincidence. That's the connection. Emotional echo. It's how we bond before words ever enter the room. But here's where most men miss the depth of it. They think, oh, we just have a lot in common. No. What's happening is deeper. She's not just aligning with your interests, she's trying to feel closer to you without exposing herself emotionally. That mirroring is a subtle cry of, I want to understand you because I want you to understand me. It's her heart trying to inch closer while her pride tells her to stay back. And let me tell you this, it takes a woman a lot of vulnerability to let herself reflect a man, especially in a world that tells her to be independent, to not lose herself. So when you notice her mirroring you, don't overlook it. Don't take it for granted. It's a sign she's emotionally invested. She's opening a window into her craving. Now, here's the real beauty in all of this. When you become aware of her mirroring, you don't need to call it out. You shouldn't. You don't need to say, hey, you're copying me, because it's not about imitation, it's about resonance. It's about two frequencies vibrating at the same emotional level. And when that happens, something sacred starts to build, emotional intimacy. The kind of connection that doesn't need labels or long conversations to feel real. So if she starts talking like you, reacting like you, even dressing a little like you, don't just see it as flattering. See it as a quiet confession. A whisper from her heart saying, I feel safe enough around you to soften, to adapt, to let your energy blend with mine. That's powerful. That's rare. And if you're the kind of man who notices it, not to exploit it, but to protect it, you'll become the kind of man she's been waiting for. Not just someone she craves, but someone she can finally stop hiding from. Because when you mirror back emotional safety, you give her permission to fully show up. And that's when the real connection begins. There's a kind of craving that doesn't show up in your inbox. It doesn't leave a, hey, I miss you, text or slide into your DMs with heart emojis. No, it shows up in silence, in the shadows, in the spaces you don't notice if you're not paying attention. Because when a woman is craving you but hiding it, one of the strongest signs is that she keeps tabs on you quietly. She watches your stories but never comments. She knows what you're up to, where you've been, who you're around, even though she never asks you directly. She's there, behind the scenes. Lurking? No. Longing. But from a distance. Because direct attention feels like exposure, and exposure feels like risk. She doesn't want to be obvious. She wants to protect her pride. She wants to feel you without being seen. And here's where most men go wrong. They think, she's not reaching out, she must not care. But caring doesn't always come in loud gestures. Sometimes it hides in quiet observation. She doesn't double text, she doesn't call. But best believe she saw your last post, noticed the girl you were with, read the caption twice, maybe even zoomed in. She noticed the change in your tone, your glow up, the way your energy shifted, and she felt something sharp, something sacred. Because when a woman craves you but hides it, she doesn't just watch you, she studies you. Not because she's obsessive, but because something about you matters to her. Something about you is pulling at her emotional core. But here's the thing, she doesn't know if it's safe to let it out. Maybe she's been disappointed before. Maybe she told herself she wouldn't fall this time. Maybe you didn't chase, and that confused her. So she retreats into quiet curiosity, into emotional surveillance. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't manipulation. She's not playing games. She's protecting herself. Watching from afar gives her the illusion of control. Because if she stays quiet, she doesn't have to face rejection. She doesn't have to admit to herself, or you, that she's emotionally invested. But here's what makes the difference. You, as a man, have to learn to feel her presence, even when she's not physically there. You have to tune into the subtle ways she stays close, the timing of her views, the mutual friends she keeps engaging with, the random check-ins that seem casual, but always come after you've done something significant. These are her breadcrumbs. This is her way of staying connected, while keeping a wall up. And if you're wise, if you're emotionally aware, you'll see it not as a rejection, but as a red flag of craving. A silent signal that says, I'm still here, I'm watching, I care, even if I can't say it out loud. The woman who keeps tabs on you isn't distant, she's torn. And the man who can recognize that, he won't chase her blindly, he won't call her out. He'll create emotional safety, so she can finally come closer without fear, because she doesn't need to be chased. She needs to feel safe enough to stop hiding. You know when a woman's energy changes, and don't you dare pretend like you don't. You feel it. Her vibe, her tone, her warmth, it all shifts the moment another woman enters the picture. She may not say anything. She may even smile and pretend everything is fine. But deep down, her silence is louder than any words she could speak. That shift, that's not about jealousy. That's about possession. Emotional possession. That's the craving she's been hiding, finally reacting to the threat of losing what she's quietly held on to. You see, a woman who doesn't care won't blink when another woman's name comes up. She won't flinch when she sees you talking to someone else. She won't tighten her jaw or suddenly take longer to reply or become colder out of nowhere. But a woman who does crave you, who's been hiding those feelings, masking them with distance and fake indifference, she will feel it in her bones, and her energy will betray her. Maybe she was warm and playful one moment, and now she's short and reserved. Maybe she suddenly becomes critical or pulls back altogether. Not because she's trying to manipulate you, but because emotional craving and emotional protection don't play well together. She's feeling something she can't explain. Jealousy mixed with fear, desire mixed with shame. She doesn't know if she has the right to care, but she does. And the most complicated part? She won't confront you. She won't say, hey, I don't like seeing you with her, because that would expose her. That would mean admitting that she wants more from you than she's allowed herself to say. So she plays it cool. She pretends nothing's wrong. But her heart is screaming. You, as a man, need to understand this emotional contradiction. You're not just dealing with her words, you're dealing with her wounds. You're dealing with past heartbreaks, with the fear of being too much, with the narrative she's internalized that say wanting someone too much makes her look desperate. So when another woman shows up, all her hidden feelings get triggered. She doesn't know if she should fight for you or walk away quietly. She doesn't know if she's allowed to feel what she feels. But here's the truth. That energy shift is one of the most powerful signs she's emotionally invested. It means she sees you. She values your presence. She's thought about a future with you, even if she hasn't spoken a word of it. It means she's imagined losing you, and the very thought disturbs her peace. So when you feel her pulling back, don't assume she's losing interest. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes she's feeling too much and doesn't know what to do with it. And no, it's not your job to fix it. But it is your responsibility not to ignore it. To show her, through your steadiness, your consistency, your emotional maturity, that she doesn't need to hide. If she feels something real, she won't be punished for it. Because craving doesn't always look like a confession. Sometimes, it looks like tension, silence, or withdrawal. And the man who can see past the mask, he becomes the man she finally lets in. She'll act like it meant nothing. Like the time you spent together was just casual, cool, fun, forgettable. But deep down, she's holding on to every second. That coffee date you barely remember, she's replayed it 10 times in her head. That joke you made in passing, she smiled about it 3 days later. The way you looked at her that one night when the conversation got deep, yeah, she still remembers how it made her feel. Because when a woman is craving you but hiding it, she pretends to be casual while treating your moments like they're sacred. You see, women are emotional archivists. We store memories in ways we don't even mean to. We don't just hear what you say, we feel it. And when you've made an impact, even if we're trying hard to play it cool, we hold on to those feelings like fragile glass, carefully, quietly, emotionally. But here's the twist. She doesn't want you to know that. Not yet. She doesn't want to seem like she's catching feelings too fast. She doesn't want to risk being misunderstood, or worse, rejected. So she plays it safe. She downplays how much she's been affected. She tells her friends it was nice when she felt a spark she hadn't felt in years. She acts like she didn't notice the way you looked at her when you thought she wasn't watching. But she did, and she hasn't stopped thinking about it. So while you're sitting there wondering if she even cared, she's across the room or on the other end of the phone pretending like she didn't. And that's the tragedy of hidden craving. It wears a mask of indifference. It shows up as chill, as nonchalant, as whatever. But behind that calm exterior is a storm of emotion she's trying hard to control. And the reason she's holding back, it's not because she doesn't want you. It's because she wants you too much. And that terrifies her. Because the last time she showed her cards, she got burned. So now, she's cautious. She listens more than she speaks. She watches more than she engages. But if you pay attention, you'll see the signs. The way her face lights up when she hears from you. the way she subtly checks in, asking about things you mentioned weeks ago, the way she seems to remember everything, even things you forgot you said. That's not casual. That's care in disguise. That's her heart whispering what her mouth won't say. I'm holding space for you. I just don't know if it's safe to show it. And if you're the kind of man who understands that, who doesn't need grand gestures or constant validation to know something real is there, then you'll give her something most men don't. The safety to stop pretending, the freedom to stop performing. Because when a woman craves you but acts casual, she's not being fake, she's being careful. And the moment she realizes you see through the act is the moment she starts to let you see her. Before a woman lets you into her heart, lets you in, she's gonna test you, and not in the way you think. It's not about playing games or making you jump through hoops. No, it's about protection. It's about survival. Because craving someone is one of the most vulnerable feelings a woman can experience, especially when she's spent her life being told not to be too emotional, too needy, or too much. So what does she do? She tests your emotional maturity before she ever shows you what she's truly feeling. She might say something just to see how you'll react. Something small, something loaded. She might disappear for a little while, not to punish you, but to see if your presence is real or if it fades the moment she pulls back. She might act like she doesn't care when in reality she's watching closely, waiting to see if you chase her, if you get angry, or if you stay grounded. What she's asking is, can I trust you with my feelings? Can she trust that if she opens up, you won't use it against her? Can she trust that you'll still see her the same once she stops hiding the craving and starts being honest about how deeply she feels? These tests aren't about ego, they're about safety. They're her heart knocking on the door of your soul, asking if you're strong enough to hold space for her vulnerability. Most men fail this test. They take the bait, they get defensive, they say, I don't have time for these games, and walk away. And just like that, they confirm what she feared all along, that it's not safe to feel, not safe to crave, not safe to hope. But the emotionally aware man, the grounded man, he sees through the test. He doesn't panic, he doesn't force or chase, he responds calmly, with clarity, with care. And when you do that, something amazing happens. The walls start to come down, slowly, quietly, but they fall. Because now she sees something she's rarely seen, a man who doesn't punish her for being complex, a man who doesn't shame her for craving more, a man who doesn't make her feel like she has to be less emotional to be loved. You become the exception, you become the safe space. And trust me, when a woman finds that kind of man, she stops hiding, she stops testing, she starts opening, sharing, giving, and loving. Because now she knows you're not just strong, you're emotionally intelligent, and that's what every woman who's been guarding her heart is secretly craving. So don't get frustrated when she pulls back. Don't take it personally when she hesitates. Understand that what you're experiencing isn't rejection, it's a test of depth. And if you pass, not only will she crave you, she'll finally let herself be craved by you in return. No walls, no fear, just a real connection. And that's worth every moment of patience it took to earn her trust. You don't win a woman's heart by chasing her blindly. You win it by understanding her silence, respecting her emotions, and meeting her at her emotional depth. Stop chasing loud signals. Learn to feel the quiet ones. And if she's craving you, give her a reason to stop hiding. Because love isn't found in games, it's found in emotional courage. If this hit something inside you, if it made you feel seen, I want you to like this video right now, drop a comment, what hit the hardest, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more raw, real, emotional truth. This is Think Jessica, where your heart gets heard.